Okay, hi everyone. I'm Aastha from Cdeco. So I am going to show you an effect called as Batik effect on fondant. Before I start with it, I did not want to do it on a plain surface. So I just thought that we'll use some sort of design for preparing our cake, and then we'll do the demo of our Batik effect. Okay, so you all know, we all love, being females, we just love kapdas, you know. We are fond of all the Jaipuri stuff, all the Batik things, all the, I don't know what, odhnis and everything. We just love all of them. So I just thought that let's do one part of it into our cakes, because I just feel cakes are something which you can play around so much, and you can bring out everything. Just pick up anything and you can make a cake out of it. You just need to play around with your creativity. So that's what I thought that I'll do. So I'm going to use Cdeco fondant. And I am using a white fondant from Cdeco. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pinch out some piece of it, and firstly we'll touch upon how to do these molds. These molds look very simple, but everything needs a little bit of trick to follow. So that is the trick that I'm going to tell you. These are called Simpress molds also. So I'm using a royal kind of design, because I was thinking that I will go for some bridal touch-up. That is something which is my personal favorite. Either it's black or it's some bridal touch-up, and I'm very happy doing these things. So that is what I'm going to do. Whenever you're going to take your fondant, please, सबसे पहले, it's very important, just knead it. And when you're kneading it, it's very important, please ये मत करना, ये करो, yeah. So she knows, she's been my student, thank you for coming again, and she knows that just push. So what I do is push, pull and turn, simple. Just set your hand over there, and I'm using little bit of fondant here. And if your mold is new, please always take little bit of corn flour and then start with your fondant, preparing your mold. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to prepare little bit of a shape of this sort, and then I'm going to start. Now see, it is very important that you don't allow your fondant to stick a lot to your base. Having said that, don't apply too much corn flour, because corn flour is something which is going to make your fondant very dry, and we don't like crackly and very dried fondant. किसी को भी नहीं पसंद है. Okay, so what I've done is I've just prepared थोड़ा सा size of this. You don't have to be perfect of the size. Just place it over here. One thing before I start over here, I have to see that my mold in the center is a little deep as compared to the sides. So for that, taking that subjective call, that judgment call, I'm going to place some fondant over here, which is going to be a little thicker than over the side. So I have taken a plain fondant. I am just going to allow it to stick, and I'm going to quickly use my fingers to just give it little bit of shape. So while doing this, I'll tell you one chota sa kahani, because what happened right now, I was just traveling right from my city just for the demo. So I carried the bottle of my edible glue, and we all know सब कुछ perfect तो हो नहीं सकता. That edible glue just fell off in the whole dabba, and the whole stuff was filled with water. So please forgive me for my gloves, but it was filled with edible glue. So coming back, I am just giving shape. It is very important that I give proper shape. I don't want the extra fondant to be sticking around and hanging. So the neatness would not come. If your neatness is not there, then half the effect is dead. We don't want that. So I want neatness. So whatever I'm doing is I'm just taking off little excessive fondant and cleaning the sides. You can find out the difference over here and here. I hope you all can see. So this is all I'm doing. Pressing the fondant out and pressing it in with the shape and design of my mold. Simple as that. Okay, and again I will take all the excessive fondant out. Now we need to understand that we don't really want to have too much thick fondant. So I just want to take to the extent I want for my mold. That's it. Now I'm just going to check whether I'm happy with the shape and everything of my mold. Nothing should be sticking out. Now, do you remember in the start I told you that the center is a little deep in the design. So what I'm going to do, this I really like to do a lot. I think people are scared to put a little more fondant on the top. We want everything to be neat and perfect. Everything should be neat and perfect. But पीछे से थोड़ा बहुत जुगाड़ मार लिया चलता है. So it's very much okay. So I'm taking little bit of fondant and I'm just going to press it in the center because I knew this was the area just by idea that it was a little bit, you know, deep. So that is what I'm doing, and I'm just going to use the hand heat to just let it merge a little bit. Okay? So now we all can see that the mold is in the shape, correct?
Correct.
Okay, it is in the shape, and all I'm going to do, I'll tell you one more thing. If I'm at home and my fondant is very, very sticky, it happens. The market fondant sometimes happens. So we need to understand how to handle it. What I would do, a small trick is, I would place it in the fridge for just 3-4 minutes. That would just help me to take it out very quickly. Now, being Cdeco fondant, it's not that very sticky. It's pliable as well as it's very stable as well. So probably, fingers crossed, we're not going to need the fridge a lot. So I'm just going to ulta it. Okay, and I'm just going to take it out. Just see. So I'm going to help you to give this to you, and please be careful. Just look at it, look at the design, look at the curvings, and you can really float with it. Okay, so the only point of doing this with you was to identify that whenever we are taking out molds, it is very important that my elegance and my neatness, my delicacy would come out with the neatness of my mold, and half the job is done over there. So just take out extra 5 minutes to focus on that. Okay, don't be in a hurry while doing this. Okay, so everybody can see, is it neat enough? Yes. Or I need to, okay, what would you give me, 9 on 10 or 10 on 10? 10 on 10. I'm not giving less than 8 for myself, please, I'm so sorry. So 9 on 10 or 10 on 10, whatever you say.
10 on 10.
Thank you for being so kind. So now for this mold, you all saw that we have perfect embossings available. What I've done, just to save up on time, I have prepared these molds and prepared a dummy for myself. Okay? So this I would just paste. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. I would just paste on my dummy. So I've just prepared one dummy with some molds and I have one place left. Okay? So what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna paste this part over here using my you know, margarine or shortening works. Anything works. Just give me 1 second, I'll get it. Just give me one piece. Okay. So I'll help myself I'll help myself using the shortening. Okay. Don't use a lot of margarine, it's not meant for cakes, basically it's for your biscuits, puffs, pastries. So I'm just going to apply some over here. Apply some over here, all over, and I'm just going to paste this one. Now why I did this earlier, one, to save on time, but the real reason is that when I'm going to do my batik effect, I really need my fondant or my things to be, you know, dried out. If I'm going to do my batik effect on this, it's going to get merged with everything. I really don't want that. Okay, so I'm just applying a good nice layer of shortening over here to stick my piece, and the main part is after this. Okay, so just take and really set with my cake. Okay, so we have a clear dummy ready with us for our batik effect. Done? Cool? Are we good till now? Yes. Cool. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some colors. As I said, I'm going to do a little bit of royal kind of bridal touch. That's the kind of design I've taken. So I'm going to take some colors also like that. So what I'm playing with is red, yellow and green. not orange. Orange we will play, but we will really do it automatically. Now these are the bottles that I'm going to use. I'm so sorry for this, but this leaks a lot. But this is the kind of color which is quite easily available with everyone. So I thought of using those things which are going to be easily available with everyone. So let me just check my colors. What do I have? Okay, I have red. Traveling effect, बहुत ज़्यादा, it just leaks so much. I have, I think this is yellow, and then I have green. Oh my god, no whites. The main point is that this should look good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take 3 bowls, and I'm going to take red. So I'm taking like 7-8 drops one place. Yellow. I hope this is yellow. No, this is orange. So I'm going to take yellow. Yellow also I'm taking around like 5-6 drops. Okay. You can use gel colors, you can use liquid colors, anything. Batik effect is something which is very forgiving. You can really play with it. Okay. So last color that I'm left with is green. I'm using a teal green kind of color. So I am using around 5-6 drops again. Now remember Holi, and just think that you're playing Holi with the cake. That is something that I'm going to do. What I'll do is I'll place extra board over here so that I don't spoil her slab. Okay, so I will just do one thing, that I will put my dummy over here. Okay, and what I'm going to use to dilute my colors is something called as evaporates. If you are okay with the alcohol, you can really use vodka also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put little bit, like 1 to 2 teaspoons of evaporates in one bowl. Now take care that evaporates is something which really evaporates. Okay, so I'm going to put little bit at one time. Now whenever you're going to start with your colors, you have to take care that always start with the lightest color first. The lightest and the brightest. In my case it would be yellow. In my case it would be yellow. Great. So I'm going to use my sponges. These are the normal sponges that you get in the market. So our work is to make our work easy, playful, and sasta sundar tikau. That is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to use some sort of yellow, take it in my sponge, and I'm actually releasing maximum out of my sponge. Okay, so I'm going to start from one side, and I'm going to put a lot of yellow at various places. Okay, so we'll also identify whether I'm okay with the brightness of the color. Okay, so I think I can really add little bit of yellow more to highlight the color a little bit more. So what I will do is that I would 2-3 more drops I'm going to add. Okay, and then we're going to start back. So at various places, so almost 80% I have reduced the evaporates. Now I'm going to put, now if you reduce the whole evaporates, what will happen? The color won't go inside your design because you have a lot of embossings, right? So at various places with random effect, we are playing with colors. So with random effect, I am putting yellow. Okay, so I am taking a lot of area of yellow. The only reason being that I am actually going to cover a lot of it later with other colors, just to play with my colors. But the lighter tone should always come first. Okay, so you can see that I am really doing it very randomly. I'm allowing it to seep in really well with my colors. I'm not doing the top first because if I do that, my hand is going to stick a lot. So just skipping that for now, and we'll do that at the end. Okay, so first color we have really taken in, and now the second rule is that you would do the color that you want to shine the most, you will do it at the end. So what I'm left with is green. Next, what I would do is green on it. I will take another sponge for this. I don't want to mix yellow for that. So I'm going to take and dip and really take out a lot for green because I don't want it to shine so much. I don't want it to be the primary color in my effect. Okay, so I'm going to again start. Now you can really go lighter or you can go a little darker also. Okay, it's really your call. So now in between I am playing with green and I want the green. So I'm not going to fill up the green like I did with yellow. Now let it flow out. It's really okay. Now see, I have taken 3 colors, but what I will end up having is 5. Because when green mixes with yellow, it will have lighter green, leaf green, and when red mixes with yellow, it will have orange. That's why I did a lot of yellow. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. So you can see 3 colors now. So when these blend together, they will come out really, really well at the end. Afterwards, if I feel that I want the green to shine a little more, what I would do is that I would come back to green. Generally, I would not do that, but it totally depends on what kind of effect I'm looking for. Again, take out a lot, but there should be some sort of liquid in your sponge. I am happy with the extent of green I have for now. Now what I'm going to do, the third sponge, and I am, oh sorry, it's okay, we'll use that otherwise. And I'm going to use my red. Now I told you that evaporates is something which evaporates so much, so the red is almost gone. I'm going to put it again, and maybe a few drops of red also. And another sponge that is something that I'm going to use. This comes out, and now we'll start playing with red. Okay, so I start from here and you will see that the colors would start blending. My main idea is that I have very less of white. I'm not going to eradicate white now, but I want very less of white left. Okay, so I'm going to put my red sponge with green also. I'm going to put my red sponge with yellow also to bring out more beautiful blend of colors. Can you see red, orange, yellow, green, and a mix of red and green shining out? So I'm going to complete this. Now somewhere I am overlapping, somewhere I'm really leaving it to be plain red only. It totally depends on the final effect that you want. Okay, so let me just check this much. I can see that I have still a lot of white. So red is my primary color. Remember that always go for the primary color at the end. So I'm just going to cover up with a lot of red. Leaving some whites is perfectly okay. So okay. I'm going to move ahead. Now what I'm going to do is I will put a little darker red so that I have shades over there also. Okay, so I have more of color and a little less of liquid. So I must have added like 15-20 drops of color and maybe 2 teaspoons of my evaporex here. Again, back to the drill and come back, and I will put more of red. Okay, now if I want a little more darker, I can really go, but I know when the red is going to mix and match up with my green, the darker shade is anyways going to shine out. So I'm not going to go more dark on red. And now my objective is really to cover up the whiter area, whatever is left, and also to overlap the shades. Okay, now let me just check. Okay, this is not my front, but let us just complete that. So whatever gap was there due to my mold size, I would just cover it up so that it's not really visible. Let's come to the front now. Now here is the time that you can really enjoy with colors and look what kind of effect that you're looking for. I would want my yellow to shine out a little but get mixed with other colors as well. So just see, can you see that the colors are blending all together with each other. So let us just complete the red part. Now let us just check. I'm almost covered. The last thing that I would do is the layer of my yellow. I want the colors to blend in with the lighter tone as well, because I've given a lot of darker tone. Last point, wherever I can see little bit of white, remember I told you to keep little bit of white left. That is what I'm going to do, is that I'm going to take little bit of yellow and cover it with the last color. And then also I'll do the top. So 6-7 drops I'm taking. Mix it in. Now I want some extra evaporex to be there on my color, so that whatever extra white and embossings which are towards the inside, which are towards the depth, they get covered with that and the color flows really well. Now see, the yellow will really give the final look. Can you see this part? It gets all covered and the yellow will give that shaded effect that we finally wanted. Now you can go one shade darker on all the colors and the look will be very different. The picture you see of my cake on Rimaji's ad is a tone darker of this. So you can really play with the shades of color as per your requirement. Now I want little brightness, so I am using the yellow to be on the last. You will see when the yellow mixes with green, it gives a little mehendi green kind of color. When green mixes with yellow, it gives a little leaf green color. So using only 3 colors, I must have given like 7-8 colors on my cake. So this is the beauty of this effect, and this is why I really love this effect, because you can really create any theme. Choose your mermaid themes and choose those colors, choose your rainbow themes and choose those colors, and see, you can really play with it. And trust me, somebody is going to stop at your page when you put this kind of cake, and he's going to see, this looks something which is not very common. Okay, so that's why, and it is very like quick also. It's not too time consuming. Plus you really enjoy it. It's not something which is like, oh no, I'll have to do that. So I'm covering all the white spaces now. That's the only objective now.
इसको ड्राई होने का वेट तो नहीं करना है like
So I will dry it out after I'm completely done with it. All I have to do it is put this thing into the fan or AC for about 20 to 30 minutes. It will dry out completely.
after the final coat, right?
After the final coat, and you will not see any sort of, you know, that it is sticking to your hand or something. That's why we use the Evaporex. We do not use or alcohol. We do not use the water directly, because water will not dry out maybe for like a day. And when will you give the order, or when will you eat the cake? You will be like, okay, I've prepared the cake, but let's cut it tomorrow night, you know, after a day. So that's not going to be really pleasant, you know. So that's why Evaporex is your best friend, and water is the biggest enemy your fondant can have. And just look at the fondant that I used from Cdeco. I don't even remember the panel, but I think this one. So can you see, nothing got smudged. So it dries very quickly, but it was very easy to work with at the same time. So these things I've dried out completely earlier also, but this is also working really well with the dried out fondant. So I'm just going to give the final look of it, and we're going to complete the top of this one. And you guys are going to help me out if you can see any white spots, because that's my objective to cover now. Okay, any white spots that you see, at least on the sides. And look at the beautiful shine this Evaporex gives. I really love this thing. Here, okay. And this is one effect which is very simple, Sundar, Sasta, Tikau wala, the one that I was talking about. Any white effect that is left? Here? Okay, I'll cover it up. And lastly, I would go for the top. This is one thing that it's very like basic sense, but I did my mistake. I learned from it. Oh damn, if I'm going to do this and keep my hand, then it's going to fall out and everything will be messy. So I don't want that. So lastly, I would do that. Full complete cover. Okay, I'll use the same for my top. Green also. Okay, this becomes a dirty color. I would do my yellow. So I was talking about the themes that you can really play with this effect. Like I told you about the mermaid theme, the rainbow ones, baby theme also. You can really go shades of pink, and you can do ombre effect also with this. And it is totally, completely your creativity how much to play with it. Anything that you see which is incomplete. And so far, done now. Okay. See, this happens. No worries. So that's what I said. This is very forgiving. I will just dab, dab, dab. A little darker tone, dab, dab, dab. Oh no, this is dirty. This one's also dirty now. I'll use yellow only. And complete this effect. I really can't point out, my finger was somewhere here, but works for me. Okay, so this is the Batik effect which you can play with colors. And what I'm going to do is, I would like it to dry out, of course, but then I would really play with, let me just remove this thing and put it on a board for you. And we'll put some nice flowers. See, if I was doing like a bridal thing or something, I would have taken this non-edible piece. Having said that, always inform your clients that I'm using something which is non-edible. Please don't smash your cake or remove that piece before you have that. So what I would do is that, for example, I have a line over here. See, it looks so pretty over here. Right? Just with a piece, you can adorn your cake, complete your cake really. And or you can take some flowers. I have some with me, and really just place them like this or place it on the top, anything, and your cake really looks complete. So how much really time you will take? Not too much. Okay, so what I would do is I would really wait for 15-20 minutes so that it dries out, and then I would paste these flowers like this maybe. I will just look at the front. I don't want to put my hands like this since it's dry, and your cake is really complete. Okay, so I will complete my board, put my cake on top, let it dry for 20 to 30 minutes, put my flower and give it to the customer and wait for a beautiful review from him. Okay?
Okay.
Of course, the review is very important, right? So this was my batik effect. I'm not putting the flower right now, let it just dry out and then we'll put the flower. Thank you.